All right, everybody. Hi, Adrian Nelson here with my friend Marise, Viviers. I came to visit her, and we thought we'll just make you a quick little video. Both of us are entrepreneurs. We both work for ourselves, so we are very familiar with the challenges, and the challenges are very real.
Yes,
Very
it
real. So nothing airy-flary, just doing it on my phone. But we just wanted to share with you three of the biggest challenges that we were speaking about this literally with our feet in the pool, and we were speaking about the three biggest challenges that entrepreneurs usually face. So that's what we want to talk to you about in this video today. Okay,
Yes.
you want to go?
Yes. So, guys, it's very daunting to go on your own and to go from a job and to work for yourself. So the challenges are real, the fears are real, the nerves are real, the anxiety is real. So if you acknowledge them and you work through them, then you can do this. The last 3 years was quite hectic in my business, especially the beauty industry. But I'm building up again, and I'm doing new challenges, and there's always new things to look out for and new ways to create income. So don't just look at one thing, look at many things. There is so many things that the universe are giving to you. So don't think you just want to go in one direction. There is many directions out there which you can incorporate into many things into your life. So just always look at the bigger picture out there.
Yeah, definitely. So there's three specific things that we want to cover for you today. We're going to go into a little bit of detail about it. So the first one is that everything is not always easy. The second one is fear. And the third one is pricing, and sort of like hand in hand with that, also like marketing and put yourself out there. But I think let's just give you a very quick idea of what it is that we do. And the reason why we do that is to also let you see that how a lot of what we do is very similar, but it's also different. So this is not only for people that are sort of like into wellness practices and spirituality and things like that. So whether you want to promote your Reiki business or whether you want to promote your tire replacement business, these sort of challenges are they're very sort of universal across the board. And the reason why we put this together is because what we found with today being, what is today? The 3rd? January the 3rd. January the 3rd, 2023. So what we
2024.
found... 2024. Back to the future. So what we found is that a lot of people have been asking us individually that they would like to start their own business, they'd like to start their own new thing, they feel the motivation, they feel the drive, but they also obviously feel all the challenges that goes along with it, and they often they're like, well, we want to do it the way that you do it. And it's like, well, you know what, it may not always seem that way, but we all have challenges, not just us, everybody else has got their own businesses. So I think, Marise, do you want to quickly say what you do, and then I'll say what I do, and know that we're just really sort of like doing this to give you a perspective of almost like the broadness of what we do, because it's great to focus in on one thing, but sometimes you have to spread that circle a little wider so that those checks can be paid.
Yes. So I work from home. I am a somatologist, so I do beauty treatments from home, but I also have a doctor's degree in metaphysical science, so I do holistic work as well, and I'm starting to go on the journey of doing more things online as well. So that is my new venture for 2024. But I also do affiliate marketing businesses, so that is also an extra income for me that I work with. So that affiliate marketing, for instance, is totally out of my comfort zone because it's all in telecommunication. So that's like I said to you guys, do not just do one thing, do many things and learn from it. I always think about Richard Branson that always said, give me an opportunity and I will do it and I will learn along the way. So that is exactly what I'm going to do for 2024. So I'm starting on a new journey of many things, even social media. I'm going to do much more things on social media, on YouTube, starting my whole new venture on YouTube, and going to do a new YouTube channel and changing what I did before. And yeah, just don't be afraid to do it. It is unfamiliar for me as well to go out there and put my face out there or my voice out there. I'm still deciding, but yeah, just don't be your biggest enemy. Just don't be your biggest enemy. Don't let fear keep you from the biggest adventure and dream of your life, because I think fear is the killer of so many dreams out there, because our mind and our ego just melts together and they just don't want us to succeed. So just go out there and just do it. What do you have to lose? You can learn from the experience and you can move forward and say, okay, this didn't work for me, but this did. So what works for me is not working for Adrian. What's working for Adrian is not going to work for me. So
it's really trial and error.
yeah. So find your own niche. Find your own voice, and see what works for you. To go explore. That's how we learn. Go and explore and see all the things out there, and what works for, like I said, what works for one doesn't work for everybody. So find your passion.
Yeah. And you know what is that saying that oh, sorry, I'm looking at the doggies. I remember the saying which I heard quite some time ago, and it really resonated with me, is that you got to do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do. And you know, a little while ago, one of the several people that asked me, so Adrian, you do so many things, because I do a couple of things. So Adrian, you do so many things. And you know, what was your biggest motivation? And I was like, money. I needed money. I needed to pay my bills. I needed money. But you know, for me, for example, I would always say maybe find like a core service of what you do and then build on that. So I'm a naturally born intuitive. I suppose when people think of me, they think of me as a tarot reader or the tarot guy. But I do regression hypnosis. I do massages. I work with angels. I do psychic development, psychic coaching. I've got a couple of courses on YouTube. And so for me, I would say maybe start out with the intention. What is it that you want to do? What service is it that you want to offer? You know, and that can be anything. Do I want to bake cakes that when people take a bite of this, it simply melts in their mouth and their toes sort of tingle? You know, for me, I want to help people who are ready or feel ready, and that's even if your knees are shaking. Feeling ready doesn't mean that you're all confident. It's like, I'm going to do it. You know. Who really want to take that step to the next level. And I find that predominantly there's more and more of those people in the world that, you know, you are fed up of working. Everybody calls it a 9 to 5, but if you're in South Africa and many other parts in the world, it's an 8 till 5. And an 8 till 5 sucks way more than a 9 till 5. And a lot of people are feeling the call and they really want to get out of there. And you know, even if you do the same sort of things as either of us do, it doesn't have to be the same, because I remember, just a quick example, one of my tarot students, I said, oh my goodness, you are amazing. You are really, really great at this. You should be doing this full time. And, you know, she said, thank you very, very much, but I will never do tarot the way that you do it. And I was like, well, that is actually exactly the point. That is exactly the point. So I think we're going to go through these 3 steps for you very quickly. And I think just before we get into that, something that I also just quickly want to mention to you is I literally came to visit my friend because we are busy. We don't always have as much time free as we'd like to. And we just said, well, you know what, everybody's been asking this, so let's just do something very quickly. There's no professional light. We're literally sitting by a dining room table. I'm doing this on my cell phone. The light is not ideal. Be very careful of that whole thing of like striving for perfection, because that is actually one of the ways in which we sabotage ourselves. So we're going to speak about these 3 points for you very quickly, because I think when we sort of looked at everything, these are really the 3 points that everything came down to. And the first thing is that it's not always easy. You want to get that idea out of your head right away. You know, you can have passion, you can have drive, but you cannot only work on motivation. That is going to be your biggest bummer right out the gate. The other one is fear. Fear can be a real debilitating thing, real sabotage. And the second one is pricing / marketing. So, and what we want to do is, you know, we want to actually share with you some examples from our own life, some challenges that we had and some challenges that we still have. when we speak about things, for example, point number one, not always being easy. So do you want to spoil your beans first?
Yes. So yes, it's not always easy. I went from a very well-paid job at a big pharmaceutical company, for a pharmacy, and I went into going to my own. It went very well the first 2 years, and then COVID happened. So then I couldn't work for about 4 months. So that was I can't. I've got no words. I can't explain to you.
It fucking sucked.
I can't explain to you. But I had to work out new things, and that's how I actually went and decided, okay, I can't just look at one thing. I have to look at many other things as well, and to get extra income from other passive income streams as well. So yes, as an entrepreneur, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, you don't just work on one income. That you learn quickly in the beginning. You can't trust one income. You have to have many income streams. So that was really not easy. And sometimes I did want to go back to a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job because.
And sorry if I may say so. We actually spoke about this yesterday. You want to know that things are going to get tough sometimes. So even myself, last month was a little bit challenging for me. I was thinking to myself, shouldn't I just give up this whole thing and just go and find myself some easy peasy cozy? Because you will get those thoughts. It's okay to have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's human. It's just human to have those thoughts, to go back on what you know and what you had. But if I think back how hard I work for somebody else to make money for somebody else, and I look at the hours I spent, the family time I lost, how the tiredness, how it actually physically, I got very sick. I got stomach ulcers and everything. So my health deteriorated because of all that lovely stress for some to actually make money for somebody else. And I just said no. And if I go back to that thoughts, then I know I can push through and I can do this. And consistency. Just consistency. Show up for yourself. Yes, you get days where you just want to lie in bed, like, I'm not going to do this day. Take that day. Just don't take more than that day. Just
You got to be disciplined.
Discipline is very important. And like I said, show up for yourself. You're doing this for yourself, your family, to spend more time with your family, to have more freedom. You're doing this for yourself. So just remember your why. Remember your why.
Even if you show up with a creased shirt while you're on holiday. But also, I think that entrepreneurship can actually be one of the most amazing journeys of self-development if you let it be that. And you kind of want to get out of your mind this whole pie in the sky sort of idea that it's always going to be easy. Now, truth be told, for some people it happens and it's just easy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But one of the lessons that I learned very, very early on that was really, really beneficial to me is that I cannot only work when I am motivated. Because if I'm only going to work when I'm motivated, then that's not really discipline. With that being said, it doesn't mean that you have to burn yourself out either. If you have a regular job, you're going to have a day or two off in the week. So you want to think of your entrepreneurship as a business fueled by your passion. And I think one of the ways to really find what it is that you can do, how it is that you can show up, how it is that you can serve, because if your intention is to serve, you really can't go wrong. I would say that it's to do the thing that you're happy to do whenever and whatever. And I remember when I first heard this idea, and I think if I remember correctly, it must have been like 2018, maybe mid-2018. And I heard it from a workshop by Colette Baron-Reid, and she was saying that in order to find your life purpose, you want to find out what makes you happy. And I said, well, reading tarot makes me happy. Hypnotizing people makes me happy. But, I mean, thousands of people are doing that. I don't see how I can do that. At this point, I was in this job that I absolutely despised. I hated having that job. I was always depressed. I was always crying. I was always drunk. I was always depressed. And I said to myself, I don't see how I can do this. And the thing I think to remember is to take it one step at a time.
Yes.
Because this is what I said, and I think this is what you said to a lot of people over the last couple of days as well. You know, you can be inspired by us in the same way that we are inspired by other people, but it takes a while to get here, and it takes a while to stay here, you know. And I think the best way to make progress is to just try stuff.
Yeah.
You know, some things are going to work and some things are not going to work. You're going to put your heart and soul into things, and they're not going to work.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do other things, and you're going to just do them like, yeah, whatever. And then they sort of blow up. So give yourself a chance. Be there for yourself. Give yourself the breaks that you need. Don't burn yourself out. Be responsible with your business. Show up for yourself, as Marise said. Be there for yourself. Believe in yourself. We cannot expect someone else to believe in us if we don't actually believe in ourselves. I mean, when you really think about it, it's quite a big ask, you know.
And find your tribe. Find your tribe and see who is the people that is actually supporting you and standing with you. And if you have your bad days, just get your people that you know that can just lift you up a little bit and tell you you don't have to cry all the way and, you know, get all the hallelujah songs out there, but just find you. And yeah, basically what I want to say is also don't carry your stuff alone.
Yeah.
I did it. Adrian did it. We tried to carry our stuff alone, didn't talk. I'm going to work through this.
Because I would look at her and I think, oh my goodness, Marise is so successful, you know. And then she looks at me and like, oh my goodness, Adrian is so successful, which we are. But then we realize like, oh, we are also just human beings with human emotions and human lives and problems, you know. And you get sick and people die and your pets die and life happens.
Yeah, and you need your support. We as humans are not made to be alone, and we are not made to carry stuff alone. So you have to have your tribe. And I must say that the last 3 years I really saw who my tribe is.
You know what, actually, one thing which was a big challenge for me is that you're going to have to lay down the law every now and then, especially if you work from home, which we both do, because a lot of times people have this idea that they can just pop in whenever they want to, you know, like, oh, you know, you're at home, you can work whenever. And yes, you do have a lot of time, and you sort of, or let's rather say you manage your own time, but that really doesn't mean that you can be laying on. I mean, I literally live in Cape Town. I literally live next to the beach, literally. You know? And it doesn't mean I can go lay next to the beach all the time. And sometimes you have to be a little bit more communicative with people. And sometimes you have to be slightly stronger in your communication, that you can't just pop out whenever you want to because I've got stuff to do. And that stuff includes your downtime. That stuff includes your you time, when you just spend time with yourself. And, you know, it does take a little bit of time because I don't think the world, especially not South Africa, is so fully adapted to entrepreneurship from home yet. So they feel they can just pop in whenever. You know, you should take their calls and stuff like that. So that is one of the challenges that you will be dealing with. And I would say the sooner you do it, the better. Of course, it doesn't mean you have to be enemies of people, but...
Yeah, and don't let people disrespect your time. I saw it many times, and this year I'm going to be a little bit more firmer, where people think because you work from home, even if the appointment is maybe 10 o'clock, they can just rock out up at 10:30 or 11. And just be firm. Just be firm and just, you know, time is time. And a set appointment is a set appointment. Yes, things happened and stuff happened, but don't let people disrespect your time, because time is precious.
And there will be those that are taking chances. Like, because I was on holiday, I got this beautiful massage treatment from Marise, which is an amazing combination of like massage and sound therapy, and it's just incredible. And color therapy, it's really great. So what will happen with things like that is, so I got this amazing session, or maybe somebody else had and they tell me about it. You will get those friends who are supporting you because, don't worry, I leave you a good review or all the other stuff that they say, I'll mention here and there. And they'll be like, oh, you know what, I'm so stressed. I was wondering if you could maybe give me one of those sessions of yours. Or they try to mindfuck you into the point that you offer it. I want you to know that that's going to happen. I've been a tarot reader for a couple of years now. And I, not really these days anymore, but I used to have those things where people would be like, you know, you walk and somebody say, hey, Adrian's a psychic medium. And they'll be like, oh, what do you see? And then I'll be like, well, you know, I switch off my psychic ability. Otherwise, I will lose my mind because, you know, they're everywhere all the time. Like, well, can't you switch it on again? I just want to ask you a quick question. It is important to learn to say no. It is one of the biggest challenges, but the quicker you learn to master that challenge, the better.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about fear. You wanted to talk about fear, right?
Yes, so fear can go both ways. So you can have the fear of not being successful and the fear of actually being successful. So working through that process is quite daunting, and the fear of being unsuccessful went through my head many times because once I did try to go on my own, but I was not ready. I was still in my 20s, and I was all fired up and I'm going to do this and this is my time, but I was not ready. So that time it didn't succeed. I had to go back to a work and I had to get a job again, and that was one of my biggest fears when I stepped out of this job that I had now previously and into this new adventure that I went on to. Because yes, people will promise you the moon, the stars and the roses and everything, and they will say, yes, go for it, we will support you. I promise you, you will never see that people again. It happened to me. So I was like, yeah, so where's those people that actually said, no, Marise, just go for it. We will be there 100% behind you. And the people that is supporting me, I do appreciate them so much because they stick with me. I've got clients that has been with me since 2011. And
I love those people.
yeah, and they just always there, and they do their monthly appointments and everything, and we're actually friends. So your clients actually becomes your friends as well. So then you have the fear of actually being too successful, because now what are you going to do now with that? I mean, oh my goodness, now all this stuff is happening, you're fully booked, and money is coming in, and you're like, oh my word, so now I'm actually now too successful. But yeah, but just like I said, take every day as it comes. Appreciate, be grateful, be thankful for what the universe is offering you, and work through all your emotions. Don't put them in a box in the back and then they will pop up again and then you have to go and deal with that again. Work through your emotions, and if you have a fearful moment, acknowledge it, work through it, and say, okay, I see you, yeah, I got you, but you're not going to stay. You don't pay rent, you're not going to stay. We can move on now.
Those people that are telling you they're so enlightened, they don't have any problems, they're talking crap. That is not how Earth works.
No.
It doesn't mean that you can't be happy, you can't feel fulfilled, you can feel all of those things. But remember that living on planet Earth is a journey of discovery. And the simple truth is that all of life, not just human beings, because we've got a way of separating ourselves from nature, all of nature, all of creation really thrives under pressure. When things are going well, easy peasy. If your business goes well, there's no need to expand it. Why should you? You know, you are a baker, you make wedding cakes and things go well, there's no need to do anything else until the pressure is on, and then you say, well, maybe I should make some cupcakes. Who knows, next thing you open a whole cupcake franchise. In my experience, or experiences actually, yeah, challenges, hitting a wall, hitting an impasse can actually be the biggest invitation to level up. Or it can be the invitation to stay where you are, level down, go back to where you were before. And that is actually the thing with fear and success, because I used to be mortified of being successful. I literally worked with so many coaches to to work through this fear, because I was terrified of it. I was mortified of being successful, because it's literally one of those things, better the devil that you know. Okay? It's literally like that. And I think you said that was one of your biggest challenges as well, right? Yeah, it was really the fear. And it can be a lonely journey. It can be a very lonely journey sometimes, until you begin to find your tribe. But it's like all things in life. You find your tribe by doing. You find your tribe by doing. And it's really, really great to become friends with your clients. I've got some clients that have become some of the best friends ever. But I think we always want to be careful of not crossing that line. I think especially maybe slightly more in what I do, there is something I really have to be mindful of, because it can very easily become a codependent situation. I want your money all the time, and you want me to check in with your past loved ones and all those type of things. So it's difficult. But you can find some of the most beautiful connections through through this. I think the one thing that I remember because this was the first time that I came to Marise's studio, and I said to her, I love it so much, because the current setup is you come up these stairs, and then there's this very, almost, I like fantasy. So there's this very fantasy sort of picture, and it looks almost like you're walking into like a portal, like a other world, and everything is so beautiful, and everything is so set up, and the one thing is, and this is something that you want to be careful of, is that when we become a little bit more familiar with our clients, and this is something that irks me endlessly. The first time I rock up, you impress me to the point that I'm literally elevating off the floor. And then the second time is, it's not bad, but and then things start to become, sort of just not really up to standard anymore, not the way that it was before. The idea is that it keeps on getting better and better and better, because you are still delivering a service. These people are still paying good money. You just want to sort of keep that balance in there as well.
Yeah, always keep your standards.
Yeah.
Or level up.
You want people to come to you because they want to come to you, not because they feel obliged to come to you.
Yes.
They want to say they don't want to go to the other tarot reader down the road, and they'll be like, you know what, I don't want you to, I just don't want you to let Adrian know that I was here,
Oh, that happened.
And this is something that I personally feel very big on. Practice discretion. Don't go and share other people's business. Don't chat with your friends about it. We don't sit and talk about, this client did this thing and that. Oh my God, oh Lord. No. There is a level of discretion, because these people come to us and to you and to whatever it is. And no matter what it is, even if you run a gossip column, run it with integrity. But it's a journey. This is what. Let me actually share this with you. So this is something when I have a problem, I ask myself: is this a success problem or a loser problem? And what I mean by that is oh my goodness, whatever's happening, then I will say to myself, if I didn't challenge myself, if I didn't put myself out there, if I didn't invest in myself, believe in myself, promote myself, challenge myself, all those good things myself, would I actually have this problem to start with? Because then maybe this is a winner problem and not a loser problem. And I'm not saying that if you do the expected way of living that you are a loser, unless you feel that you're losing out and you can do better. Then you can only be depressed for so long. You can either then fall into it, or you can do something about it. The choice is yours.
Yes, it's always
But
a choice.
you at some point you gotta move from dreaming to actually taking some sort of action. You just gotta.
Yes.
And then there's the big one. I think this is the big challenge for people. Price, charging for your service, which I think goes very much hand in hand with your sense of worthiness, but it is a very, very big challenge initially. Pricing And that can be underpricing and overpricing, and then also marketing. Because in a way, that can sometimes be a way in which you actually subconsciously sabotage yourself as well. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've been there, where I actually, my mind was, I want to go out there. I want to help everybody. I want to have the pricing like it can suit everybody, and sometimes you just shoot yourself in the foot, because with the with all the knowledge that I have and all the studies that I have under my belt, I actually did that, and I actually went and underpriced myself, and then people will come like, why is she so cheap? You know, and it's like, not, I didn't even thought I was cheap. I just wanted to know, I just wanted to help people. Look at the pricing, and feel how it works for you or not. And then I know there's people that overprice, and I always look at it like, oh my word, I will never ask that for people. And it's hard, because you don't know how to put your worth out there, but you will need to go and sit down and actually figure out. Because somebody once said to me, you can't have a 5-star hotel, restaurant, and a family restaurant, and you want to serve the same way. You can't. You either have
Well,
to
you
go.
can if you want a big mess up.
Yeah, it's fine. So you either have to decide: am I catering for the family restaurant, or am I catering for the 5-star restaurant? So it is, unfortunately, it is like that. So you have to understand who your clients are, and who you're going to work for, and who you're going to be there for. So you have to find out where you want to be.
And you know what? If you haven't done that yet, it might sound like such a nitty-gritty thing to do. And I remember my best friend is a social media manager and a graphic designer, and she was saying to me, Adrian, actually, buddy, like you gotta become very clear about who you are, what service you are offering, who you are offering it to, and why. All right, because if you and this is no judgment, just calling a spade a spade. If you're working for the lower income people, what is it that you can give them? Why should they come to you? And is it in a price range that they can afford? Same with the middle class, same with the upper class. You know, I've always been saying that I want to work with sort of like more the upper, sort of like upper level in the world. And the reason for that is not because I can get me more money from them, because I understood that what I have to offer, if I try to build it from the bottom upwards, it's like going against this brick wall all the time. There's all this resistance. But if I start at the top, then instead of having to help 300 people, I can help 1 or 2, and it can actually filter down. But then that is really, really great. But then I have to charge a rate that will actually agree with those people. Because if I charge too low, they're going to be like, well, probably a scabanger, you know, probably a chance because they're busy. And so that is the one thing that's really, really important. Finding out what you're going to do, who you're going to do it for, and how you're going to let them know that you have it. The same friend said to me that when you have something of real value to offer, and there are other people that actually need that value, and you don't let them know about it, aren't you really doing them a disservice? Aren't you withholding from them what you actually have? And ego and really fear can do that to you sometimes, because you know you don't want to put yourself too much out there. It's not bragging, it's simple marketing. You know, if the clothing store is running a 2-for-1 special on winter jumpers or whatever, they let everybody know all the time.
Yes.
They're not bragging. They're not saying they've got the best jackets on the block. They're just saying that I've got something really, really great that you really, really want to have, and this is the rate. And I think with that being said, discounts are really, really great. Freebies are really, really great. I had this conversation with someone the other day. But you don't want to become the person that people say, like, ooh, I like what they have. I'll just wait till it goes on special. You know, they need to understand that if they get something at a discounted rate, especially if they get it for free, you need to get something back. It's not about lowballing anybody or anything like that, but I think far too often we don't think as entrepreneurship as business. We think of it as, just another nice little something that I do
It's a
to
hobby.
fill my cup as a hobby. you know, it could still be a hobby, but it could even be a very light-hearted hobby. I am light-hearted as fuck, but you also have to be serious about things.
That's it.
Actually, let me add one more. This is where a penny dropped for me. So I wanted to help everybody, but with rates and stuff, I didn't want to charge too much. And you also need to remember that the simple truth is that the currency on planet Earth is money, not love and light. It is what it is, you know. And if you don't play by the rules, things are not going to work out for you. And same friend again she's very good at what she does. Actually, I think I'm going to put her a link for in the description at bar. It says I am social, IEEM social. And she said to me, well, if you really want to help everyone, but then simultaneously you want to do a different job, then technically speaking, you are less able to help everyone. So think of what it is that you have to offer. What is it that you know? We so often focus on what it is that we do not have. But what is your worth? What is your value? What can you bring to the table? I had a client recently that was focusing on a lot of things that you can't do. And I said, well, you've been on this planet more than 7 decades. You definitely have stuff that you can offer people because you are literally kind of double my lifetime. There are things that you have forgotten that will still blow my mind away going forward. So focus on what is that you do have. What is it that you can do? What is your passion? How can you serve? How can you contribute? How can you give? Then when you really begin to understand your value, then you think of something that we in Reiki call, well, not we, it's a Reiki thing, but a fair energy exchange. At what rate are you happy to provide what you provide? And also, very importantly, at what rate is the client happy to receive it? So it's not about anybody conning anybody. You want to work with integrity because you can have the most beautiful convoluted words. You can really knock people's feet out from underneath them. But, eventually, if you don't come from integrity, your flame's going to burn out. That is just a fact. I have seen it many, many, many times,
And there has to be an energy exchange always. Even when I do the detox acupuncture, sometimes not everybody can always afford medical procedures or healing procedures because unfortunately medical aids don't want the natural people on their systems. But there has to be an energy exchange. So just even if you bring your rate a little bit down, or if you can help a person and they can maybe give you a cake or something, but there has to be an energy exchange because it's just how it works.
I think the one thing that you don't want is that when that person goes out this door, you go like, or you get a message or a call from them and you're like, oh, yes, this person again. Yeah. And that goes hand in hand with, I think, what we said right in the beginning. Sometimes you have to learn to say no.
Yeah, and don't let people take advantage from you because you're working from home or always want discount because some people can actually pay your services, but they think because you work for yourself, they are sometimes entitled. They think they're entitled to ask for discount all the time. No.
I'm supporting you.
Yeah.
Which I would appreciate, but if you actually support me, it means that you're paying me. Exactly. So if you want to check out more of what we do, there'll be some details in the description. My YouTube channel, Marise's, our social media channels. So do follow it, do check it out. Would really appreciate it. And, follow, subscribe. Let us know what it is that you'd like to talk about. If you want to reach out to either one of us, by all means, do so. And just really wish you wish you the best. We literally made this video just to sort of talk about these things because there's a couple of people that have been speaking about the same thing over and over and over and asking the same thing over and over and over. So someone out there must wonder about it too. And,
So here we are.
and here we go. Bye.
Thank you, guys.